Ladies and gentlemen, it's an honour and a privilege to be here, I imagine. Yeah, well done me. I went out earlier to get a cup of coffee. Someone came up to me and said, "Are you Jimmy Carr or do you just look like Jimmy Carr?" I said, "Both." You know when you go around to a friend's house for the first time and they say to you, "Did you find it okay?" What are you meant to say? "No, I'm still lost." A lot of people think I'm posh. Who here thinks I'm posh? Yeah. Well, compared to you, yes. But I'm not as posh as people think. I actually went to one of the roughest colleges in Cambridge. Fame is weird. I'm at a very weird level of fame now where people come up to me and say hello to me in the street. Yeah, it's very flattering, it's lovely, but then they'll insult me when they're talking to me. They'll say things like, "You're not as fat as you look on TV." What do you mean, not as fat? Well, this is my favourite. They go, "You're actually quite funny." Like they're saying, "Imagine my surprise, you're not totally fucking shit." So I'm flattered they've said hello, but then I'm angry they've insulted me. So I'm angry and flattered at the same time. Those are weird emotions to have at the same time. So I try and do the same thing back. I say, "Well, you're a super little cunt." I keep on getting mistaken for Alan Carr. So what I've done is I've stopped sucking men off. That was my hand symbol for no more cock. I don't quite know what that round of applause was for. Was that you thinking that's a very funny joke, or homosexuality is just about willpower? People often ask me, "What were you like at school?" So I tell them, I was a little black girl. There's about half of you laughing, half of you thinking, "Was he?" You would never know. Wetting your bed is embarrassing as a child, but as an adult, wetting a child's bed is mortifying. It's almost impossible to explain that shit away. Well, it's early on in the evening. Let's try some easy jokes to start with, shall we? Good luck. I was in the south of France. I saw a brownie on a school trip. She was holding up a book. It said on the front, "Rough Guide." I thought, yeah, she's not a looker. That's the easiest joke in the show. If you don't get that, you might as well fuck off now, mate. 3% of Britons never leave a tip, and they're known as the weirdos that live at the tip. I saw a headline, it said, "Britain faces crisis." I thought, what, we're running out of faces? When someone recommends a book to me and they say, "It's a page-turner," I always think, yeah, I know how books work. I bought a home pregnancy kit. Turns out my house is pregnant. We're thrilled, we're having a shed. I got interviewed last week by a very nice young lady. She said, "What's your house like?" I said, "I've got a semi." Which would have been fine, but then I showed it to her. And of course, by then, it wasn't a semi. If you ask 10 randomly chosen women how often they wash their knickers, a surprising number answer, "How did you get in here?" Treat them mean, keep them keen. That's what they say, isn't it? Treat them mean, keep them keen. But I think you've gone too far if you're using a Stanley knife. Of course, a lot of women stay with their men even if their men hit them. A lot of women will stay with their husbands even if their husbands beat them. I tell you what they need, a slap. Where's your self-esteem? Silly cow. She was tiny. Of course, the thing people never say about domestic violence, and it strikes me as being just so very obvious, but people never say this about domestic violence, is just how fucking stupid it is. I mean, you're hitting your wife. It's your wife. You might as well key your own fucking car. Think about it. You don't like her now, you're not going to like her anymore with 2 black eyes and a bit of a face on, are you? There are places in the country where that's just a joke. I did that joke in Preston. It was like marriage guidance. It got a round of applause. Well, I thought it was a round of applause. It was actually people hitting their wives. When I was a kid, I was scared of the dentist. He was a paedophile. I suppose that begs the question, how many fillings did he give me? I believe each and every child should be given a chance, and that's why, if they can guess the number I'm thinking of, I let them go. Is anyone in from around the country? You're from London? Where are you from? Whereabouts are you from, sir?
Doncaster.
You're from Doncaster, and you're down here just for the lights. You'll be back and telling people, oh, I was inside. It was like a cave, but it was like daytime at night. Couldn't make head nor tail.
Candles.
Candles? Yes, they're like candles. Well done, you. It's lovely to have you. Now, mark off back.
New Zealand.
New Zealand? How's it going over there? Is it all right?
It's not bad.
You still having that problem with Saruman and his orc army? Hello? Sorry, did you just go hello at the end? Where are you from, madam? Dartford. Dartford? You sound like a man. Where are you from, madam? Dartford. How-o? Sorry, it's like a horrible racist joke from the 70s. How-o? How-o to you? What, sorry?
I'm from Sevenoaks.
You're from Sevenoaks, but you said hello.
That wasn't me.
That wasn't you. Why are you talking then? I don't understand. Who said that? Not me. I'm from Sevenoaks. What do you do, madam?
I'm a student.
You're a student, and what are you studying?
Drama.
Drama? Really? You know, I always say the same thing. Whenever I meet a drama student, an aspiring actress or an actor, I always say the same thing to any aspiring actor or an actress I meet. I always say, I'll have a coffee, please. I was in Newcastle recently. I was in the back of a cab in Newcastle, and the cab driver said to me, there's no red light district in Newcastle. Because that's how they talk. If you're in Newcastle for the weekend, it's most disconcerting because you find yourself thinking, well, is everyone trying to start a sing-song and I just don't know the words? There's no red light district in Newcastle. I hadn't asked, incidentally. I hadn't got in the back of a cab in Newcastle and said, take me to the prostitutes, my good man. No, just apropos of nothing, this bloke went to me, there's no red light district in Newcastle. No, I didn't say anything because he was quite a big, tough, Geordie bloke. But I did think to myself, I'll tell you why, no need. Have you been to Newcastle? 2 Bacardi Breezers and the deal is done. It's the kind of town where if you've got money enough for chips, guess what? Great news, you're not going home on your own. There was a nice little smile there. Just as if to say, I'll tell you what I like, chips and cock. Good on you. You know in Big Brother, when they swear, they play in that bird song? I've got so used to that now when Spring Watch is on, I think the badgers are calling Bill Oddie a cunt. I had a friend come round to my house the other day, distressed and distraught. He was nearly in tears, a grown man. He said, I've got a lump on my testicle. I said, that'll be your other testicle. I got stopped earlier by one of those charity muggers. You know the ones in the high street with the clipboard and the optimism? He stopped me and said, if you give £5 a month, no children will get hurt. It's like a fucking protection racket, isn't it? Speaking of charity, though, the largest charitable contribution in human history was made last year. An American man gave away $32 billion. He was some kind of Wall Street financier, gave away $32 billion to the third world. What an incredible, selfless, wonderful thing to do. But spare a thought for his children. How annoyed would you be? You've done what, Dad? Oh, for fuck's sake. So you're telling me the only way I'm going to get my inheritance now is if I move to Africa and get AIDS? Livid. Have a guess, ladies and gentlemen, how much I give every year to animal charities. Have a guess.
5p.
No?
20 grand.
Hundreds of thousands.
Do you even know who I am? That's fucking optimistic.
Fuck all!
Fuck all is exactly right. I realise some other people said nothing, but nothing is not the same as fuck all. Giving nothing to an animal charity would be, I'm sorry, I forgot. Fuck all is much more, No. And I'll tell you why I give fuck all to animal charities. It's because there are charities out there for sick and dying children. I don't give anything to them either. But it's the principle of the thing. Those are the charities I don't give to first. You know why they raise all that cash to dig wells in Africa? So when they're finished, they can throw money in and wish for food. I know you think that's offensive, but it's not when you compare it to this. The Make-A-Wish Foundation. Are you all familiar with the fine work the Make-A-Wish Foundation do? Broadly speaking, they make dreams come true for the terminally ill. What could be more worthwhile? They're a great organisation. I thoroughly approve of what they do. My only problem with them is the name. I think they should be forced to change their name. From the Make-A-Wish Foundation to the No Make Another Wish, we can't do anything about that foundation. Speaking of which, did you all see that heartbreaking story in the Mirror newspaper last year? Yeah. They ran a campaign... Are you showing off to the other children? Are you pretending you can read? By heartbreaking story, do you mean the tits on page 3? What, sorry? So I'm fine for fruit and veg, thank you. I presume that's what he's talking about. Hey, hey, hey! It's nice that you're here, though. It's a night off for someone, isn't it? Now, I talked about the Make-A-Wish people. Did you all see this upsetting story in the Mirror last year? It was about a 5-year-old boy that needed a new kidney, otherwise he was going to die. And the Mirror ran a 6-week campaign about this, yeah? I'll tell you the good thing before I tell you the funny thing. That 5-year-old boy is now 6. He got the kidney and he made it, thanks in no small part to the Mirror newspaper. Well done, them. Yeah? But talk about heartbreaking, talk about tugging the heartstrings. Last Christmas, they printed his Christmas list in the paper. And the kidney was on the list. 4th. 4th! There were things he wanted more. Number 3 was a Little Britain DVD. I don't want to sound tight-fisted, but I'd have got him that. There you go, mate, you'll piss yourself. I'll get someone to explain what kidneys do after the show. I was at a party, I was chatting to a guy, he said, what does your girlfriend do? I said, anything but anal. I'm joking. She loves it. I'm in a long-term relationship, but I'm not married. Is anyone else in that situation? Quite a few, but you're timid about saying, because like me, you'll know, if you're in a long-term relationship but not married, everyone, friends, family, colleagues, acquaintances, everyone feels they can stir it up a bit. As soon as anyone hears, they go, have you thought about? You two, have you thought about? Trying to start an argument between us. I think it's very rude. So whenever anyone says to me, have you thought about? Thought about? Thought about? I always go, what, putting a third finger in? I could give it a go. I'm not sure it's what the relationship is missing. Maybe try the shocker. 2 in the pink, 1 in the stink. That's how that works. Sorry, too much? 2 in the goo, 1 in the poo. There. Nicer for everyone. I don't know what conversation that prompted there. I imagine that was you, madam, turning to him thinking, glad it's not just you. I had a woman come up to me after a show in Tunbridge Wells. She said, I found that shocker thing very uncomfortable. Now, I knew what she meant. But I couldn't help myself. I said lubricant. I tried some Viagra recently. Has anyone else tried it? Yeah. You have? Well, I admire your honesty there, sir. I tried it because you can now get over-the-counter Viagra. I thought, that sounds powerful. Over the counter, you say? Like a fucking cosh. Did you read the instructions when you tried it, sir?
I didn't.
You didn't? I did. I take these kind of things seriously because it's a medication. Even though it's a fun medication, it's a medication nonetheless. I was reading on the instructions for Viagra, it says, keep away from children. I thought, what kind of a man do they think I am? That can't maintain an erection with a child. Well, the fact a child has applauded that very loudly. See that? There's a child in a green T-shirt. You are a child, I'm saying, going, yes! Finally, someone that can get hard with me. You fucking maniac. How old are you, sir? Do you mind me asking?
I'm 14.
You're 14? Right, I can't talk to you any longer. It would be grooming. And are you here with your mum? Oh! Mummy's little bender. I like it. Like it, the man from the telly, talk to me. I'll be checking in with you in a bit. Well, that brings me very neatly onto the next bit of material. Who here's got kids? Like, kind of, was that? What, sorry? All right, Jimmy. What? What? What was that? You chipped in with something.
Go on, Jimmy.
You said, go on, Jimmy?
Yes.
Oh, right, ironically, slowing things down. You often do that, just stop people in the street and go, on with you, Dave. No, I just stopped you to tell you to continue. No, I don't have kids, but I've got lots of friends that have got kids. They're 5 and 6 years of age. I'll go around to their house, I get introduced. They say, this is Jimmy, he's a comedian. It's a bit like a clown. I go, well, it fucking isn't. And they'll say, shh, don't swear in front of the kids. And then they'll say, would you like to hear a joke? And the little kid will go, yes. And I'm expected to perform. So I say, when I was a kid, I was scared of the dentist. You would not believe the upset. What the paedophile? Come here, I'll show you. So what I've done, I've got some jokes for kids. I've rewritten some classic children's jokes. You'll know the original, shout out if you do. What do you get if you cross a sheep with a kangaroo? A woolly jumper. I've gone for a genetic aberration that's an insult to both God and man. Where does the policeman live?
999 Let's Be Avenue.
999 Let's Be Avenue, exactly right. I've gone for nowhere. He's been replaced by an undertrained and poorly equipped community support officer. Not that I'm having a go at community support officers. They do valuable work. Without them, how would we know where the nearest cash point is? There's one here. What, a cash point? Thanks very much. Are you a community support officer? Hello. How are you? You all right? And where's your beat? East London? You're a community support officer in East London? You're having a fucking laugh. Don't go out there without a gun. Is it fun? Is it? I imagine it's quite a good job, is it?
It's not bad.
It's not bad, it's all right. Well done, you. There's some jokes about coppers coming up. Remember, they don't apply to you because you're not a real one. Why is it difficult to play cards in the jungle?
Cheaters.
No, it's deforestation. Cheetahs are actually endangered, so that is quite insensitive, sir. What do you call a donkey with 3 legs? Glue. Just be honest with yourselves. If you've got a donkey with 3 legs, you're going to take a picture on the camera phone and then melt that fucker down. What's brown and sticky? Anal. This next one's a little bit different. I think it's funny, which is obviously very important, but it's also educational. Teaches kids about the alphabet and also about social issues, which can be very difficult to discuss with the under 5s. Why did the H kill himself? Because the G had. Right, last one of these. What's yellow and dangerous?
Shark-infested custard.
Shark-infested custard or the discharge from my cock. I'm joking, it is probably fine. Just smells weird. I get reviewed quite a lot, ladies and gentlemen. Journalists come along to the show and they write a little piece. Sometimes I'll look at it and think, oh, it's very nice. And then you'll look at it again a few days later and think, well, you could take that in 2 different ways. I'm going to read some reviews, see if you think I'm being paranoid. The Times said of this show, he couldn't be funnier. The Guardian said, there's funny, then there's Jimmy Carr. Is that a good thing? Catch him before he gets massive. I was doing a gig up in Hull. It was the second day on the tour I was doing in Hull. And on the front of the theatre, they wrote in massive letters, due to public demand, he's back for one night only. Doesn't that make it sound like the public got together and said, there's only so much of this bullshit we're going to stand for? Of course, we all say stupid things from time to time. I was chatting to a friend of mine, Peter. We're at a wedding. He was chatting about how much he wanted to have children. These are his exact words. He said, we'd love to have kids, but infertility runs in my family. If you don't get that, you should be sterilised. My uncle said, I can't be asked to get my prostate checked. That's an almost Zen-like stupidity. That's so stupid, it's almost brilliant. It's like those big matrix signs you get above the motorway. Do you know the ones, the big matrix signs that say, this sign is not in use? And you find yourself thinking, well, hang on, if that's true, how do I know that? Of course, I'm guilty of a fair amount of fuckwittery myself. I'm often putting my foot in it, getting it wrong. I was at the airport about 6 months ago, got talking to this guy that plays wheelchair rugby in the Paralympics. I'd just seen a documentary about it called Murderball, which is amazing, and I'd seen a bit of it on Sky Sports, so I knew something about it. We got chatting. Transpired in the conversation, I didn't know what the para in Paralympics stood for. Oh, I thought I knew, but I didn't. I imagine a few of you are in the same situation. All have a think about what the para in Paralympics stands for. Stands for is not the right term to use there, actually. Have you all got something in your heads? Any guesses? Spacker? It's definitely not spacker. Any other guesses? Paraplegic, that was my first guess. It's not until you say Paraplegic Olympics out loud you realise it's not that, is it? Paraplegic Olympics, hang on, that would just be blow football. Any other thoughts? Paratroopers. Well, like they were all injured during service and they thought we might as well have a sports day. Come on. So, any other thoughts?
Paralytic.
Paralytic? Yeah, that's it. There's nothing the matter with them. They're just pissed. They've turned up to the sports day and gone, what? 1,500 metres? You're having a fucking laugh. I had a skinful last night. I'll never make it. I'll have a sit down. You can wheel me round. No. Although there is a legless gag in there somewhere, but we'll leave it. Any other thoughts?
Paralysed.
Paralysed. No, it's not paralysed either. Parallel is the right answer. Well done, you gold star. Big tick. Another couple of... Of course it's the Parallel Olympics when I say it. It's obvious, isn't it? Because it's parallel to the normal Olympics. Probably shouldn't say normal Olympics. It's a minefield, this. Which, ironically, is probably how some of them got there. But it's parallel to the Olympics, and it runs in the same sort of city that they're holding the Olympics in. It's a proper sporting event. Another couple of things while we're on the subject. If you're chatting to someone that plays wheelchair rugby in the Paralympics, and you've seen a bit of it, you're chatting about it, you're being positive about it, don't at any stage, even if you're joking, don't ever refer to it as being like the real robot wars. He laughed, but there was a definite tension. Also, final thing on this, never get confused between the Parallel Olympics, the Paralympics, and the Special Olympics. The Paralympics is a proper sporting event. The Special Olympics is the one where they're all winners. Although you try telling that to the bookies when your little fella comes in seventh. I can see some of you are shifting uncomfortably there. You're thinking, can we laugh at this sort of thing? Let me just reassure you, ladies and gentlemen, during that last bit, no one in a wheelchair has ever walked out. Now, I don't mind proper graffiti. You know, Gary has AIDS, your mum's a bender. proper graffiti. But I don't like racism, and I don't like racist graffiti, and I've started to fight back. I saw a bit of graffiti last time I was in Felixstowe, written on a wall. Someone had put, "Asylum seekers out." So above it, I wrote, "Asylum seekers in." And below it, I wrote, "Asylum seekers shake it all about." I thought, well, that's cheered up, no end. That gave me confidence. I went back to a rough pub near where I live in North London. Someone's written on the gents' wall, "White power." So across it, I've written, "Sill it, bang." I saw a disgraceful piece of graffiti last time I was in Stoke-on-Trent. Someone had written on a wall, "All coppers are." I thought that apostrophe shouldn't be possessive. Not about you. I saw a brilliant sign on a police station wall. It said, "Wanted for sex attacks." I didn't know there were vacancies. I thought I should look into that. Flexible hours, you get to work outdoors, you get to meet new people. Speaking of violent sexual crime, and I was. The fella in Ipswich last year that was murdering all those prostitutes, I presume you all read about that in the papers as it was going on. Really grisly, morbid story, but you kind of can't look away. I think some of the reporting as that guy was murdering loads of prostitutes was very irresponsible. The News of the World led with the headline, "The killer is out of control." Now, to me, the headline, "The killer is out of control," implicitly suggests that there is an acceptable number of prostitutes to murder in any given calendar month. The problem with this fucking lunatic is the number he's killing is just not sustainable. At this rate, we will run out of prostitutes in the Ipswich area. And then where will we be? Newcastle. Shall we talk about everyone's favourite member of the royal family? Prince Harry. Come on, the little ginger one that dresses as a Nazi. That's the kind of behaviour we want from our inbred overlords. Now, Prince Harry was meant to go and fight in Iraq last year, but he couldn't go to Basra last July because he's ginger, he would melt. So he didn't go, and actually, while the rest of his unit were fighting in Basra, he was found by a British journalist, tracked down to a strip club in Canada. And the journalist went up to him and said, "Are you Prince Charles's son?" He said, "No." It got me thinking, ladies and gentlemen, because he's just got back from Afghanistan. What kind of preparation was that playboy lifestyle for fighting in a war? I know what you're probably thinking. You probably think it'd be much clearer if someone had juxtaposed strip clubs and war in a poem. You're in luck. I've compared and contrasted strip clubs and war in a poem. It is simply entitled Strip Club War. Yeah, a little bit of culture for you, ladies and gentlemen. I will read it for you now. Strip Club War. Young men getting slaughtered, bazookas everywhere, privates standing to attention, grabbing their helmets, weapons going off, sobbing men desperately clawing at gashes as bodily fluids dribble out, sweethearts back at home wondering if they'll ever see you again, the number of stiffs growing by the hour, freshly shaven twats shooting at anything with a beard and regretting they'd come, the next generation spilling out of choppers onto hot barren mounds. It's more expensive than you think it'll be when you go in, and the whole thing leaves a mess that'll take years to clean up. And of course, Muslims don't like it. I blame Bush. I'd like to get to know you all as an audience, but it's difficult to get to know a lot of people in one go. There's only one of me, that's loads of you. What I've devised is a method. Moral dilemmas. These are questions to which there is no absolute wrong or right answer. Just your opinion tells me something about who you are as individuals and who you are as a group. So if everyone joins in, this works. So everyone say yes?
Yes!
Everyone say no?
No!
Everyone say I can think for myself?
I think myself.
OK. Right, let's do a warm-up first. This doesn't count towards your final score. Just a warm-up, just to get you into the spirit of things. But if everyone could answer straight away, that would be great. Is it acceptable to kill a whale in order to save 2 pandas?
Yes!
That's about a 90% yes, I would say, this evening. You've thought, yeah, fuck it. Someone go, no. No. All right. Don't worry, it's not going to happen. That's not the finale of the show. Although I wish I'd thought of that. That'd be fucking brilliant. The best response I've had to that recently, I said, is it acceptable to kill a whale in order to save 2 pandas? And someone went, let them fight it out between themselves. Now, for better, for worse, this is the question I use to judge an audience, to judge individuals. If you could all answer, that would be great. Would you fuck your dad to save your mum? I don't know why you're looking so upset. It's easier for girls. He's ugly. Imagine that being a factor. Imagine thinking, yeah, I would fuck my dad, but he's not a looker. He's let himself go, maybe 5 years ago. What would you, sir? He's there. Oh, hi. So, do you mind me asking, is your mum here as well? Oh, brilliant. Well, we can actually do a proper test. Now, I've got snipers all the way around this building. And they're pointing a gun at your mother, yeah? We're going to kill her. Your mum's been taken hostage. She's going to be killed. We would like you to bum your dad.
Well...
It's difficult. Yeah, of course it's difficult. I'm not saying you wouldn't be thumbing in a softie. That's fine.
I say let her die.
You say let her die. Sorry, hang on, we're not in Norfolk. What are you booing? You're booing a man saying, I wouldn't bum my dad. Just take a moment to think about that. All right, so you've made your decision.
Don't listen to Jimmy.
It's all right, Mum. It's all right, Mum. Is that your daughter there?
Yeah.
Same question to you. Oh, I love my job. At what point did you think, as a family, this would be a good show to go and see? Never mind that Lion King bullshit. Let's bring the kids out to see a proper show, where we openly discuss incest. The best response I've had to that, someone went, not again. Sex education is extremely important. Telling young kids about the birds and the bees, absolutely key. 3 quick things to remember. Firstly, you should know the children you tell. Secondly, there is a level of detail that is considered too graphic. 12-year-olds don't need to know about rimming and such. Thirdly, and perhaps most importantly, you should only ever tell them. I've got a friend that told me her new boyfriend looked like one of the Proclaimers. I said, well, he can't. He either looks like both of them or neither of them. I like it when identical twins stand face to face, because when identical twins stand face to face, just for a moment you think, ooh, a vase. I've got a friend that told me she was scared of dwarves. I said, you're scared of dwarves? Are you also scared of normal-sized people when they're far away? If you're a dwarf and you're offended by that, grow up. I saw a documentary recently on Channel 4. It was all about faith. And in it, someone went, well, of course, Scientology is a made-up religion. I thought, as opposed to... It's one of my favourite things is to get Christians talking about Scientology. Because the Christian will go, Scientologists, they're nutters, they believe in aliens. And then you can say to the Christian, what do you believe in again? It's a benevolent zombie that's coming back to save you, isn't it? Good luck with that, that will probably happen. Has anyone been to Belfast? Yeah. Belfast, an amazing town, very friendly place. The amazing thing about Belfast, they can tell what religion you are just from your name. I went there with my friend, Rabbi Lionel. They just knew. You ever done this? Have you ever had an argument with someone that you really care about something you couldn't give a fuck about? I had an argument with a friend of mine that I've known for 15 years about whether tomatoes are a fruit or a vegetable. I mean, who cares? Also, it got me thinking, can't something be both a fruit and a vegetable? I mean, what if Graham Norton had a serious accident? I realise that is a joke about a homosexual man being spasticated. In my defence, I did call Graham and check he was fine with that, and he was. Although I would add, that was a fucking awkward phone call to make. Oscar Wilde famously wrongly imprisoned for homosexuality. At least that's what I thought. And then I did some further reading. Turns out he was gay. So, fair enough. Rules is rules. Come on, you bender. People say to me, you're gay, you just don't know you're gay. I always think that's going to come as a horrible shock, isn't it? What, at some point am I just going to be standing around minding my own business? What's that in my ass? You. Someone shouted out the other night, gay shirt. I thought, oh no. My shirt's been fucking men in the bum. I thought that was a chocolate stain. I tried to suck it out. Have you ever done this? Have you ever been driving along and you've hit a rabbit? The worst thing is the noise. That horrible, familiar sound of a hammer hitting a rabbit. 97% of all dangerous driving offences are committed by men. You know what that means? It means 3% are committed by bloody women drivers. You know who you are, you're a fucking menace. I don't think speed cameras are fair. Who's with me? I can't see how they're fair. If I'm driving home from this gig at 12 midnight, yeah, and there's kids playing in the street, they've got bigger problems than me. Well, not anymore, they haven't, but let's say I'm driving home from this gig, 12 midnight, let's say I'm doing 40 in a 30 zone, I get flashed by one of those cameras. How is it fair that my girlfriend gets 3 points on her licence? That doesn't seem fair to me. She's already got 12 points. She's going to have to go to jail. Have you all seen that incredibly powerful commercial on television where the child morphs back to life, having been run over? Yeah. Incidentally, that's why you're not allowed to leave the scene of an accident. You missed the best bit. That advert clearly states if you're doing 40 miles an hour and you hit a child, there's an 80% chance that child will die. If you're doing 30 miles an hour, there's an 80% chance that child will live. Here's my question. Where's the ad for swerving? That advert's basically the government going, hey, watch out, there's a kid in the road. Slow down, take the edge off. But it must learn its lesson. How old did you say you were, sir?
14.
You're 14 years old. Right, and what's your name?
Sam.
Sam, right. Let's say I'm driving to you, Sam.
Okay.
At, I don't know, 40 miles an hour. And you run away at 10 miles an hour. It's an aggregate of 30, isn't it? Not only have you given yourself a chance of survival, you've also learnt a little something about maths. It's a win-win. You all right? Do you like girls yet? You probably don't even know you're gay. Do you know you're gay? You do, you're fully aware. OK, well, yeah, nod. Definitely nod. Because we haven't got a camera pointing at you or anything. That'll be fine. Enjoy school. Let's do some improv, ladies and gentlemen. All I need is suggestions from you. Right, I need a historical figure.
Nelson.
Nelson?
Noddy.
Oliver Noddy. Yeah, very much a mixed ability group this evening, isn't it? Yeah. Oliver Cromwell, Noddy. Mother Teresa. God bless her. Mother Teresa, amazing woman, wasn't she? Very generous with her time. And although you do look at her and think, yeah, a little bit of moisturiser wouldn't have fucking killed you. So I'm all for helping the poor, but just oil of Ulay, take the edge off that. Fuck me, it's like a saddlebag. She looks like my balls. I'm joking, my balls are in significantly better kit than Mother Teresa's face. Henry, all right, let's go Henry VIII. He's a classic. Let's go Henry VIII, OK? All we know about him was he was a bit, should we say he was aggressive towards women? He did what, sorry? He shagged loads of women? Yes. He was the king. It's not going to be tricky to get a date, is it? Hey, how you doing? I'm the king. Do you want to see me cock? And the crown jewels. Easy. OK, so let's go Henry VIII. I need an accent. Peruvian? How optimistic are you? Australian, I can do Australian. Are you? Oh, you get fucked. Are there Australians in? Well, what am I talking about? Saturday night, they're working behind a bar. Of course I am. Okay. Right, I need a superpower. America? How's that helping? No! Oh.
Right.
I'm pretty sure... I definitely said superpower, didn't I? And you definitely said rape. The power to rape for good, presumably, to prevent crime. So someone would have taken hostages, the police would be there, we can't get them out, they're going to kill the hostages. Rape boy. Can you see what you can... Yeah, I could... Officer, don't worry, I'll get in there. I'll rape him first. And then I'll rape the other fella. And then I'll rape him back. I don't think rape could really be construed as a The understanding of women. How old are you, sir? You seem jaded before your time. You're 17. How can you not understand 17-year-old women? All you need to know is that. Hey. It's easy. Do you know how to buy cider? Cider, wait to ripen, and bang. And then off to play on the PlayStation. And if you get good enough with the PlayStation, you can bring her off in about half a minute.
Bendy cock.
A bendy cock? Oh, yeah, that'd be handy, so I can fuck things round corners.
It's like extra long arms.
Like extra long arms? Big veiny... It's what, sorry?
Inspector Gadget.
Like Inspector Gadget? Have you ever seen an episode of Inspector Gadget?
It's good.
Yeah, it's good. I don't think that was Inspector Gadget. I think you were abused as a child. I'm just going to get out my special arm. Any other thoughts? Superpower. Read minds. I knew you were going to say that. Let's go for mind reading. Mind reading sounds like that's a good power to have. So, Henry VIII, Australian, mind reading. OK. I need a belief system. Any others? Buddhism. Muslim, yes. Because the great thing about Islam is they can take a joke. I think I might leave that one for the farewell tour. Go out with a bang, so to speak. Any other belief systems? Creationism. Creationism's quite good. The crazies that believe that everything was built in 7 days, is it? Yeah. Any creationists in? No. Not really my target audience. People that amazingly naive. God love them. Or Americans, as we call them. OK, so a creationist, Henry VIII, Australian accent, superpower, what do we go with? I knew that. You just had to think it, and I would have got it. OK, finally, I need something you find in a kitchen.
No.
A woman? It's not 1974. You can find in a kitchen, a woman. She'll have my tea on. Your mum? Who said your mum? How old are you? Your mum. Your mum's in the kitchen. She'll make you tea and toast if you're nice. Mum. Your mum. That's what we're going for there. OK. Right. So we've got Henry VIII, Australian accent, mind reading. He's a creationist. Your mum. Should we leave it there? Genuinely. That is all the improv I do. That's my favourite bit, the bit where people shout out suggestions. The actual play bit at the end, I always think, is a bit shit. I'm always suspicious they might just be making that up. You actually look disappointed as an audience now. You're like, oh, I thought it was going to be really good. The Aussie Henry VIII and his mum. Oh, yeah, do you want to get married? I can read your fucking mind. How shit's that? What, sorry? I forgot your mum. All right, there's Henry VIII fucking your mum. You happy now? That's your mum. You happy? Did we miss out your mum? Is she getting fucked by the king? Oh, yeah. All right, Sheila? Yeah, take it, you bitch. Yeah. I know you like it. I can read your fucking mind. You happy now? You all right now? Well, that's cheered things up, hasn't it? For a moment there, that poor man was worried, is my mum not going to get fucked in this? Oh, unlucky. I'm much better when I've prepared stuff, ladies and gentlemen, and I was asked last year to write something about being British. I thought, well, my pleasure. I'd like to share it with you now. What makes Britain great is our ability to laugh at ourselves. And when I say ourselves, I mean other people. And when I say laugh, I mean invade. But Britain is proud to boast that we're home to the most hard-working, diligent and adaptable workforce in Europe, the Poles. They're bloody good, aren't they? Yeah. Round of applause for the Poles. Of course, you get a lot of right-wing people saying, oh, these Poles, they come over here taking our jobs. I was thinking, if a guy from Poland arrives, he doesn't speak the language, doesn't have any money, doesn't know anyone, and he takes your job on the first day, you're shit. Fuck off. I was in a restaurant the other day. It said on the menu, all our food is made with love. I thought, I know a chip shop, they shut down for doing that. I was in a restaurant with a friend. The waiter came up to take the order. I said, I'll have the fish of the day. And my mate went, oh, I wanted that. I'm trying to lose a bit of weight at the moment, so I'm eating porridge every day for breakfast. Does anyone else eat porridge for breakfast? Yeah. It's fucking boring, isn't it? I'm like 4 spoons in thinking, this is actually depressing. I wouldn't mind dying. I was so bereft of stimulus when I was eating my breakfast the other day, I read the box of porridge. It genuinely says on the box of porridge, no added colouring. I thought, but it's grey. What, do they think I think they might be adding extra grey? A lot of people don't approve of size 0 models, and they're called fat people. 5% of toddlers are overweight, and they're called waddlers. I've got a friend, she recently went to her GP just for the annual checkup. She was classified by her own GP as being morbidly obese. Who came up with that term? That's so unnecessarily harsh. Morbidly obese. As if she doesn't have enough on her plate. Sounded sympathetic, and then it turns out it was another joke about a big fat fatty. Of course, it goes the other way too. I've got another friend that just lost 6 stone. Well, I say she lost 6 stone, she lost a leg to diabetes. Still, go girl. Slowly and carefully. Of course, there is no need to go on a diet. If anyone's thinking of going on a diet, there's no need. All you've got to do, here's the secret, have a photo of yourself taken holding up a pair of enormous trousers. Doesn't matter how big you are, everyone thinks you made a tremendous effort. Job done. There's always a shot from the side as well. Always with a really smug expression of, look what a fat cunt I was. Of course, there are some clues out there as to why we're getting bigger as a nation. Domino's Pizza is a very good clue. It's a very simple business, supply and demand. Very simple. If we demand something, they will supply it. They're happy to. They now make a double-decker pizza. How did that happen? People must have been phoning up going, hello, is that Domino's? Yes, how can I help you? I like a pizza. We get a lot of that. What would you like as a topping? I'll have another pizza. Of the 5 fruit and veg you're meant to eat every day, I think you know you're fat if you count Jaffa cakes. Should we talk about Gillian McKeith, the woman from You Are What You Eat, begging the question, what did you eat, the witch from Rent-A-Ghost? Some people like her, some people don't. I think she's a fucking disgrace. Because what does she do for a living? She humiliates women. She takes a middle-aged woman who's let herself go a bit. She's a bit plump, big-boned. She's not a danger to shipping. She's not hurting anyone, and she humiliates her on national television. Initially, she goes, this is what you eat in a week, you fat cow. She doesn't say fat cow, but you can see it in her beady little eyes. This is what you eat in a week. Has anyone noticed how that table of food she shows the big fat fatty is exactly the same as the one Kerry Katona shows us all in the Iceland ad? And then, the piece de resistance. Shit into this. What? Like it's the most natural thing in the world. She goes, shit into this. Then she's got the audacity, the brass neck of the woman, to go, your poo's a bit smelly. It's made of shit, Gillian. I think I may have solved this riddle. The reason that is a little bit reeky is it just fell out of her ass. It's still warm, you fucking maniac. Most people that get cosmetic surgery are disappointed with the results, but they look pleasantly surprised. Have you ever got mixed up between car booting and dogging? It's embarrassing, isn't it? I paid 50p to fuck a guy's wife. Dogging, or pay and display, as I like to call it. Or park and ride. Make-up sex is amazing after you've had an argument, but inappropriate if you've had a fight with the traffic warden. Women get annoyed when men use the last of the toilet paper. Do you get annoyed at that, ladies? Yeah. So what I've done is I've stopped wiping my arse. And still she's upset. And women, in fact, use twice as much toilet paper as men, which is fair enough. They've got double the number of bottoms. I quite like that as a term for a woman or a lady. I like the term double bum. Have you met my double bum? No, 2 bums, yes. One at the back, as is traditional. Another little fella around the front. Little fella's maybe the wrong term to use, but I'll use it in a sentence. I was on holiday with my double bum. We were in Thailand. We were having a little bit of lunch in a cafe on the beach. She said, I'm just going to go for a pee. I'll be back in a minute. She was back almost immediately. She said I couldn't go. It was disgusting. My question is simple. Has that ever happened to a man in the history of the world? Ever? Let's face it, fellas, if we're going for a piss, it is going to happen. The gents could be a pile of rotting corpses yay high. The worst you're going to get from a bloke is you want to breathe through your mouth in there. She said a weird thing to me recently. She said she wanted to wear a blindfold during sex. I thought, well, fine. On the one hand, you want to take away one of your senses in order to heighten the other 4, in order to increase the erotic pleasure of lovemaking. Let's give that a go. Sounds fun. On the other hand, I was thinking, what you're really saying is, I will fuck you, but I'm going to have to cover my eyes. Men propose on their knees. Do you know why that is? It's to get them used to asking for sex when they're married. Yeah. It's a weird reaction. Well done, you. Women like to dance with men because women instinctively know if they dance with a man, they'll be able to tell what he's like in the bedroom. And it is quite a good indicator. I tend to dance for about 30 seconds, then have a bit of a cry. Get the feeling you're laughing at me, not with me there, man. It's very cruel. I've read an article recently about British men's ultimate sexual fantasy, and it surprised me. The results of it surprised me. It was a proper survey. They asked 3,000 men their opinion. I'd like to do a little straw poll in here this evening, because the results of this, I was shocked. Ultimate sexual fantasies. Has anyone got one they wouldn't mind admitting to?
Jessica Alba.
Jessica Alba. It's a specific person that you would like to bone. Well, I happen to know Jessica Alba does an awful lot of work for charity. Maybe... any other ultimate sexual fantasies?
Girlfriend.
My girlfriend? Well, maybe we could double team her. My girlfriend is your ultimate sexual fantasy. Yes, people see my girlfriend and they see me and they say, she's only going out with you because you're famous. And I say, but I am famous. What's your point? Is that your girlfriend?
That is my girlfriend.
That's your girlfriend? I'm not going to swap if that's okay. Can I just clarify, you are a beautiful lady, no disrespect to you, but he heckled, I had to put him down, and the only way to get to him was through you. I like the way as well, I suggested your girlfriend wasn't good looking enough, and you applauded. Yeah, you'll be using those hands later on, won't you? Any other ultimate sexual fancies? A Viking helmet? What have you got, 2 vaginas? Good, lovely. Any other ultimate sexual fantasies? Schoolgirl? And then you've pointed at your man. Yeah, I think we've got a special term for a schoolgirl fantasy now. We call it pedo. Sorry, sir, what do you like?
Schoolgirl teacher.
Schoolgirl teacher? Schoolgirl, though, really. Yeah, no, because the specialist term for the schoolgirl you are a pedo. It's good. Look at the positive. You get to be on a list. That's nice. That's nice. Everyone in the neighbourhood knows where you live. That's convenient, isn't it? Do you make her dress up as a schoolgirl?
She's done it.
She's done it? Have her washed and brought to my room. I'm joking. Don't wash her.
Beastiality!
Beastiality. Well, easy. Let's just think this through, because bestiality, a lot of people just write off as a terrible thing. Let's look at both sides. Let's say you fuck a cow, and that could happen. You sound like a nutter. No, let's imagine you fuck a cow. You haven't actually harmed the cow. Cows are fucking enormous. You're not going to trouble it with your tiny cock. But you've probably distressed the animal. Daisy's probably thinking, what the fuck is he up to? On the upside, though, you've had a whale of a time, and if you have a baby with a cow, it'll be a minotaur. It's like Bully from Bullseye. Just putting it into terms he'll understand. Any other ultimate sexual fancies? An amputee. It's not Paul McCartney, is it? I can't see. It's a bit weird, the Paul McCartney thing, isn't it? I mean, he's Paul McCartney. He's a national treasure, a global icon. He was in The Beatles, and he couldn't find a woman with 4 working limbs. That's who he had to make do. People, she accused him, I believe, of hitting her, which is. Do you think he hit her? Do you think Paul McCartney hit Heather Mills? I don't think he did, but I mean, if I'm honest, I would have. No, I'm not advocating violence against women in any way, shape, or form, but it'd be interesting to know whether she would spin round like a swing ball. Whoa! And actually, to be honest, she accused him of hitting her with her false leg. That is disgraceful, and that is a lie. I can tell you why that is definitely a lie, because if you hit someone with a false leg, technically, that is a kick. The reason I mention this is because in this article it said that the most common ultimate sexual fantasy, remember, in the UK is to have 2 women at the same time. It got me thinking, well, I mean, I'm not saying it wouldn't be fun to have 2 women at the same time. It is. Thank you, show business. Yes, I'll tell you what I'd be if I wasn't a comedian. A virgin. I just think if it's your ultimate sexual fantasy, you're only limited by your imagination. 2 women at the same time is a bit lame. You could have anything you want. You could have a woman with 15 tits riding a unicorn across a rainbow. Never mind, 2 women at the same time. I mean, at the very least, go for 3. Because think about it, how much better would it be having sex with two beautiful, attractive women if you were safe in the knowledge all the while you were fucking them, there was another one outside washing the car. That would make it just a little bit better, wouldn't it? I told my girlfriend my ultimate sexual fantasy was to have two women at the same time, and she agreed. But then she was livid when I told her she wasn't either of them. She was going to be the one outside washing the car. I did have a threesome once. This was many years ago, about 8, 9 years ago. I was seeing this girl. It transpired she had a twin. So I asked. You don't ask, you don't get. I asked, I got. There's a lesson in life. It was fucking brilliant. One of the best experiences of my life, because if anything, her twin was better looking than her and an all-round great guy. Yeah, you knew something was coming, but you didn't realise it was going to be her brother in her. Are there people in from the West Country going, I don't really get it? Now, I love my job. I love telling jokes to people, but essentially what I do for a living, I'm a jester, I'm a clown, I'm a fool. Sometimes I want to be taken a bit more seriously, so I'd like to take a 5-minute time out from telling you jokes, and I'd like to throw some ideas at you, some thoughts that I've had, ladies and gentlemen. To help me with this, I'm going to bring on a trio of jazz musicians. What? I am. Can I get some jazz musicians, please? Thanks very much. Appreciate it. These aren't jokes, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just going to throw some ideas at you, some thoughts that I've had. Right. Imagine, ladies and gentlemen, imagine we're sitting in a cafe on the left banks of the Seine. You know, one of those smoky cafes, we're smoking gauloise, we're drinking absinthe, we're just chatting, shooting the breeze, ladies and gentlemen. Just talking about love and life and ideas, thoughts, yeah? Not just jokes, ideas, yeah? Let's have a little bit of jazz, just to set the mood, yeah? Oh, that's lovely, yeah. Maybe a little bit of atmosphere, so it's like a kind of smoky cafe. You know, a kind of smoky cafe? Yeah, a smoky cafe, not a cafe where there's a chip fat fire. Where did we get the smoke machine from? Duran Duran? I look like Heather Mills sitting too close to the fire. What happens if you spill carpet cleaner? If an amnesiac got Alzheimer's, would they forget they couldn't remember anything? What size do you think the Queen's bed is? If you walk backwards in flip-flops, are they flop flips? Venison's dear, isn't it? Do gypsies ever go on caravanning holidays? I'll ask. The Asterix cartoon character, Asterix. I wonder how rude is his real name. If you were a necrophiliac paedophile that was into bestiality, would you fuck omelettes? Churches are depressing. I mean, why build all of them in graveyards? My local church is raising money for a giant thermometer. Do you know the best cure for depression? Suicide. The Great Barrier Reef is all very well, but it doesn't seem to be keeping the Australians in. Consider the positive. You're never alone with schizophrenia. If you're schizophrenic and you're offended by that, you can both fuck off. Sometimes at self-service restaurants or buffets, I tip myself. Bad enough if a spider lays its eggs underneath your skin and they hatch out. Worse if it's a goose. If you're 9 months premature, you're just a stain. When someone says, I hear voices, I always think, that'll be your ears. I was thinking, what is it that separates us from the animals? Fences. I'm not superstitious, but I heard about this guy that fell out of the 13th floor window of a building and he died. Spooky. I've had an idea for a shop selling used artificial limbs. It's called the second-hand store. A shoehorn. Sounds like the kind of thing a foot fetishist might get. I'm writing a book on dream interpretation. It's called You've Had Too Much Cheese. Why do gypsies call it a fun fair when it's clearly neither? I'll ask. A snail can travel over a razor blade without cutting itself. Or to put it another way, sometimes scientists get bored. Women blink twice as much as men. Brilliant. Think of all the stuff we can get away with. No, I didn't say anything. I was very disappointed when I went to Wet and Wild. It's a water park. We English are no good at foreign languages until we go abroad, where English is a foreign language. What was the best thing before sliced bread? Bread knife? No, massive sandwiches. If I had an optician's, I'd make them do the shop sign in a blurry font. No man is an island, except the Isle of Man. I'd like to get another tattoo, but I haven't got a tattoo. So what you like about pacifists? It's always darkest just before dawn, and we call that nighttime. Travelodge's slogan is nothing like a good night's sleep. There's a thin line between obsessive and compulsive. It's a hyphen. I was going to leave my body to science, and then I thought, no, I'll leave it to geography. Why do you never hear about anyone being given 5 months to live? Some men never tell their dads that they love them, and I guess that's just because they're not gay. People have skeletons in the closet, and gay men come out of the closet. Do you think that gay men are coming out of the closet because they're scared of the skeletons? Confucius said, how do you know you're a man dreaming you're a butterfly and not a butterfly dreaming you're a man? How do I know I'm not a butterfly? I drove here, you twat. Scientists have discovered a cure for the fear of flying. 22 hours on a coach. I went to see a hypnotist show, and I really enjoyed it, which made me suspicious. Right, final thought. I had an out-of-body experience. I was beside myself. Well, that's quite enough of that sort of thing, I think, ladies and gentlemen. The trio there. Thank you very much indeed, gentlemen. Cheers. Might be a good time now, as we clear away our jazz trio. God love you for that, it was lovely. Has anyone got any questions for me? Has anyone got any?
I've got a criminal record.
Have I got a criminal record? Yes, most rapes in an hour. I'm going to take a photo of you, ladies and gentlemen, lest I forget you. You know, well, it's a big deal for me, recording a DVD. I thought I'd take a little photo. Yeah, go on, once.
Is it right if your girlfriend wants you to watch her pee?
She likes you watching her pee.
I'm trying to get you to watch her. She's like, oh.
So, sorry. That's it. The question, I get asked that every show. It's weird that you would ask that. So, because she likes a lot of people to watch her pee. Is that your thing? You like people to watch you pee? Well, clearly, yes. He didn't say that for no reason, did he? Do you remember earlier when you said he was a pedo for making you dress up as a schoolgirl? I think it might be payback time. But surely you could just dress her as a schoolgirl and have her do a wee on you. That's fine. That plays into your whole pedo fantasy. Everyone's happy. Apart from anyone with any sort of sense of taste and decency, who are frankly horrified by you too. What's your name, sir? Sam. Hi, Sam. What, sorry? Southwell. Yeah, definitely I need a surname for this. I'm not in charge of the register, don't worry about that. So, what is it about being watched pee that you enjoy? Well, just tell us, we're all interested to know. Well, you do, so...
It's not like that.
What is it like?
Give her a glass of water, we'll all find out.
I just think if you live with someone, you should feel comfortable enough to do anything in front of them.
I'm all for that, madam, yes. Once you've been with someone, there's a level of intimacy that suggests that you would be able to pee in front of them or maybe shit on their chest. But some people aren't like us, baby. Some people don't think in the way... They're closed-minded. They've got a sense of, I don't know, appropriate occasion. It's all right, we're not taping this for... Oh, no, we are. Lovely golden showers. Any other thoughts? What car do I drive? I don't actually drive a car, sir. I roll in one. Motherfucker, yeah, with the bitches in the back, yeah. How you doing? Any other questions, thoughts?
What's your favourite type of cheese?
What's my favourite type of cheese? Knob.
Where's the best place you perform?
The best place I've performed? I'd have to say in your girlfriend. It's the law. It's the law. I have to, I'm sorry. I saw a headline in the paper. It said, "Man held after rape." I thought they cuddled. I called the rape helpline centre. They suggested I bought a balaclava. PC has gone mad. You can't say Siamese anymore, so I guess my cat is a conjoined twin. Speaking of hilarious birth defects... Did you all read about that little girl born in India with 8 limbs? Incredible. She was born into a Hindu family, so they thought she might be the reincarnation of a goddess. Or a spider. But the test for that is pretty simple. They just pop them in a bath and see if they can get out on their own. How annoyed would you be if you got home and your partner said to you, "I've got HIV"? I'd be fucking livid. It's H. I like to try and see the silver lining. I see the world through rose-tinted glasses. I think it's because of this job. Even something as awful as the AIDS epidemic, I like to think of AIDS, in my little head, as a massive game of gay it. Gotcha! Chase me. Sorry, I don't want to sound homophobic. All homosexuals are fucking arseholes. And why not? It's a bloody good laugh. A lot of Americans are still bizarrely touchy about the Twin Towers, but what you have to accept 7 years on is we needed a new Wembley. If you think that's offensive, wait for this. I've had an idea for a money-making scheme. Twin Tower Jenga. That's not even it. The hook is, when one of the towers collapses, you shout, "Jihad!" Osama bin Laden, say what you like about the man, he is world hide-and-seek champion. I was out in town earlier, I saw a disabled toilet, someone had written on it, "out of order." I thought, I know what disabled means. When I was a kid, I was never scared of the Daleks. I used to be spooked out by the Daleks, but whenever they'd come on, I'd just go, well, if they ever came here, I'd just go upstairs. They can't get me if I go upstairs. But now when I watch Doctor Who, I'm petrified. Because of all the wheelchair access we put in everywhere. They can get anywhere they fucking like now. We're sitting ducks. It would be remiss of me, ladies and gentlemen, not to talk to you all about the environment, because that is the big issue, which has upset the homeless no end. A carbon footprint is a metaphor for the mark you leave on the earth as you walk through your lives. Of course, I don't have one, because I drive everywhere. And it is twice as bad if you're Christian, because you've got Jesus traipsing alongside you. I don't think they should have called it global warming. I think they should have called it Earth Toasty. Or Planet Snuggles. Just all sounds too nice, doesn't it? If we don't do something now, we could end up as snug as a bug in a rug. I'm trying to take global warming seriously, but, you know, what can you do? I'm driving everywhere at twice the speed, so I get there in half the time. And I've stopped eating Fox's Glacier mints. I tell you who I feel sorry for when there's flooding in the UK. I feel sorry for the fire brigade. Because they get 5,000 phone calls a day when there's flooding going, "Is that the fire brigade? My house is underwater." Yeah, we're not really trained for that. That's almost the opposite of what we do for a living. Do you want to give us a buzz back if it catches light? OK, bye-bye. Tell you who annoys me when there's flooding. The guy in the high street in a canoe. Every bit of news footage, there's a guy in the high street in a canoe going, "Have you not got a canoe? Have you got a car? I've got a canoe." Who's that smug twat? And where the fuck is he going? I'm off to Boots. I've never been in a canoe. I should really write a joke about a gay dinosaur dancing. Women usually take care of contraception within a relationship, but some men do, and they're called dads. I'm not sure about abortions being available 3 months into pregnancy. I think they should be available right the way up to GCSEs. I like the phrase performed an abortion. Do you think anyone's ever gone, ta-da? A lot of people are worried that the artificial creation of sperm in laboratories means that men are essentially obsolete now. Women don't need men anymore because they can artificially create sperm in laboratories. What do you think about that, ladies?
Yay!
Luckily, they keep the artificially created sperm in jam jars. So you still need us to... I'm not sure if that's exactly how artificial insemination works. But you get the gist. There's nothing rude about gist. You're making your own jokes now. My girlfriend said to me recently, "We can't have sex, I've got a headache." I said, "I'm going to be right at the other end." Do you want to get back to me if you get a pain in your vajayjay? That's right, I said vajayjay, what of it? I've got an awkward question for you. It's awkward whether you're here on a first date or whether you're in a long-term relationship. It's awkward for everyone. Should you spit or swallow following oral sex?
Gargles.
Well, there's a fella there that loves the taste of spunk. Now, it's an awkward question. It's very much the cutting edge of sexual politics. I'm going to sort this out for you once and for all. You'll never have to think about it again, ladies and gentlemen. Should you spit or swallow following oral sex? It doesn't matter. Once I've ejaculated, I'm asleep. You can do what you fucking like. You can gargle the national anthem for all I care. As long as it doesn't wake me up or interfere with you calling your cab. And let them look at that, please. Sorry, that was misleading. She swallowed. That was a deaf girl I was fucking. If you've got deaf friends, you should never do the deaf voice. Just say things like that. That is pretty much kryptonite to the deaf. If you really want to fuck with deaf friends, say things like that. Because then they know you're saying something. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, blah. How was the deaf girl in that joke using the phone? If you're deaf and you're offended by anything you've heard, I'm going to leave you with this, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a pleasure talking to you. I'm going to leave you with a story about shouting out. I like it when people shout out, when they join in life, whether it's at a comedy show or just out in the world. I was at a tennis match 8 years ago, watching Tim Henman play. I'm a big fan of Tim Henman. Anytime he wins a point, he pretends to punch a midget. Are there any midgets in? I didn't see you, but then that is part of your charm. This guy behind me in the stalls shouts something brilliant out. He waits until Tim Henman's walking in to have his little drink of barley water. You know the way they do. They have about 10 games, they go, little drink of barley water. Lovely. So he's just walking in to have his little drink, and this guy shouts, Tim, there's a bit of shit at the end of your racket. And he looks. And the bloke goes, not that end. That was Jimmy Carr. Thank you very much indeed. Cheers. Thank you. Cheers. Thank you very much. Cheers. Thanks very much. Good. That's nice of you. Thank you. Thanks. Good. It's a brilliant job, this. It's lovely. You spend an hour and a half talking to people, telling them jokes, building up this reservoir of goodwill. But then you're expected just to fuck off. It's a bit weird. With your permission, I'd like to piss away some of that goodwill. Yeah! On an unpleasant joke. You know, sometimes I'll tell a joke that's a bit edgy, and I feel as an audience you go, oh, that's a little bit close to the... Go on then, you. What are you like? I'd like to tell one now that'll make you go... Oh... Would you like to hear it?
Yes!
Well, it's a joke about love. Can love conquer all? Or do the practicalities of life get in the way? Well, a great example of this is May to December relationships. Relationships where there's a bit of an age gap. Can love conquer that divide? Or does life get in the way, the practicalities? There's probably as many different opinions as there are people in this room. Here's my opinion, for what it's worth. I think you know a girl is too young for you if you're having to make the aeroplane noise to get your cock in her mouth. Here comes the train into the tunnel. There's three things I liked about that joke. Firstly, I like the fact it's a bit edgy. I like edgy jokes. It's about as edgy as I'd want to be. Second thing I like about it, next time you're being intimate with your partners. I know you're sat there thinking, I think he's a bit too mature for that. He's thinking, ba-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. Third thing I like about that joke, probably later on tonight, maybe tomorrow or the next day, someone's going to say to you, oh, you were at a comedy show, tell us a joke. I guarantee you that is all you're going to be able to think of. And you'll fuck it up. I was fucking a child in the face. You were what, you fucking maniac? I spend a lot of my life driving around the country doing gigs, and I'm often driving back late at night. I don't know how you feel about it, but I always pick up hitchhikers. If I see a hitchhiker, I will pick them up. They always say the same thing to me. They always say, but I don't live in the woods. I'd like to end this evening by talking about heckling. I like a bit of heckling. It's great fun when people have come to see your show and they feel they can join in. It's like everyone's friends. It's great. But when you start out in this business, oh my God, it can be cruel. I've got a friend that was doing a support act. And obviously, if you're doing a support act, people haven't paid to see you. They're paid to see someone else, and you're sort of getting in their way. This friend of mine, he's a very funny boy. He was supporting a very famous comedian in Oxford. And someone from the back of the room, as he was halfway through his act, and he was struggling, fair enough, but he didn't need this. Halfway through his act, someone shouted, "You're ruining our evening." Fucking hell. It happens to me all the time. Happened a couple of weeks ago. A guy sitting where you're sitting there, sir, front and centre, his phone went off. Now, everyone's got a mobile phone. Someone's going to leave it on by mistake. It's not the end of the world. Just switch it off. Not a problem. He took the call. So there's me and 2,000 people going, what the fuck is this guy on? He totally confidently, he went, I'm at a comedy show. And then there was a pause and he went, not really. Not really. I'll leave you with this. It has been a pleasure talking to you, ladies and gentlemen. I'll leave you with this. This is the harshest heckle I've ever had to deal with. I was doing a gig in Edinburgh at Late and Live. It doesn't start till 1 o'clock in the morning, so they're all out of their minds on heroin and shortbread. OK, so it's a late-night gig. Everyone's drunk and high and out of their minds. And it's all going quite well. I'm about 10 minutes into the gig. And, you know, doing my usual thing. It's about 8 years ago. I was pretty new to this game. And this guy from the side shouts very clearly, loudly, confidently, just as I'm halfway through a joke, "My mum died of cancer." I thought, shit the bed, what the fuck? I thought, well, I'll deal with this logically and in order. I said, well, firstly, I wasn't talking about mums, and secondly, I wasn't talking about cancer. And he came back with the epically harsh, "No, but it was funnier than this." Let's now be Jimmy Carr. Thank you very much indeed. Cheers. Thanks.